So I want to get, okay, we see all the gifts that are listed up in the first few verses. But I want to look at verse 11. But one and the same Spirit works all these things, okay? Distributing to each one individually just as he wills. So I want to look at that. It says, distributing to each one individually just as he wills. See, I think the thing that we do is complicate this whole matter of the Holy Spirit and being filled. And so we make it so complicated that it's not attainable because it's such a hard thing. Like, how am I going to speak in tongues? How am I going to be able to touch someone and heal them? How am I going to do all this stuff? But it's not that complicated. It's like, first you just have to let yourself go and let the Spirit come into you. And what I want you to look at in verse 11, it says, but one and the same Spirit works all these things, and the Spirit distributing to each one individually just as he wills. So it doesn't matter on what you do. It doesn't matter how you do your certain way you put your tongue or a certain way you put your hand out, because that gift or whatever needs to come in you is not going to be on your own will, but it's through his will. So you don't have to seek for these gifts. It's for his selection or what he wants to do through you. What you got to do is not complicate the matter, but just fully say, look, Spirit of God, take over my life and do what you want to do, okay? You don't say, Spirit of God, I need to speak in tongues. How come I'm not speaking in tongues? You don't say, God, I just want to heal this person, blah, blah, blah. It starts from something different, a whole different thing. You got to make sure you're filled to the brink all over you, just like SpongeBob SquarePants or whatever. You just got to make sure you're filled all the way to the brink, and that's where it starts. And that's when you'll see different things happening. Don't seek for the gifts, but you got to seek for that filling first. Because it says it's not even your selection of what gift you can get anyways. First, it's a gift. You don't choose your gifts, unfortunately. At Christmas time, you get some of the worst gifts. You don't choose those gifts. But God's going to give you that gift just as he wills. So that's what I want to get from this message is that, we need to get this feeling of the Holy Spirit because we see what it can do, okay? When I say our purpose in the church or our place in the church, when you want to figure out what you need to do in the church and what to do to propel it forward, it starts from this feeling of the Holy Spirit, okay? I mean, we already have all these messages before that, but if you want to say how we're going to make this church go forward, you need to be filled with the Holy Spirit because we see what Peter did. I mean, he brought 3,000 souls to Christ like that, and it wasn't no problem because he was filled with the Holy Spirit. He had that boldness. He was able to talk to people he wasn't supposed to talk to. It was just a whole nother story after he got filled. And that's what we need to seek for and understand.